You're listening to the Fast Intentions Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nathan and Todd.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fast Intentions, episode number 31. I'm your host, Nathan. I'm alongside my co-host, who also happens to be my father, the man that helped create me, Todd Farrell.
Well, I made you a boy. I don't know if I created you, but...
Well, you know.
I determined that you were
You're
a male.
You're a part of...
in the weakest sense
the
of
idea,
the term, but a male.
You were the beginning origin thought of Nathan. Maybe we should make this man, and it happened.
Yeah, you were going to be named Ethan. But when we decided we already had an Emma, so we didn't want two E's, so we changed it to Nathan.
Well...
Or Nathaniel.
No, it's Nathan.
But we don't like Nate.
I don't care about Nate.
You don't. I don't care for it.
You can shorten my name. You can't extend my name. But anyways, we're back here.
Yes, we are.
On a Monday night recording.
Mm-hmm.
Turkey Day's almost here.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite Thanksgiving item to eat or drink or...
I'm always partial to the sweet potatoes. I've always liked the Boston Market sweet potatoes, and I found the recipe several years ago. So I toil away and make those every Thanksgiving for the last 4 years.
I toil away and make sweet potatoes.
Well, I actually buy the potatoes, and I peel them and boil them and all that. So I do the shmoo. So
the best thing you did is you bought that prime rib and made it.
I know. I made it a couple times.
That was good.
Thank you. And I made it once, and your sister wasn't eating pork, so she didn't have any of it. And I go, well, okay.
Well, now both of them don't eat pork. So.
And then they finally said, well, you finally made something good after all these years. And I said, oh, well, thanks.
Well, that was accurate, too.
What?
I'm joking.
Oh,
I don't know how much I've eaten of your cooking, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. A lot of spaghetti.
That's true. You do make spaghetti a lot.
Yeah, caboose chicken. I make that quite a bit because it's simple and it's really good. So,
and then, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's just chicken and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like, Grayson really liked it. And then she was talking about it. She goes, I used to like it a lot. Well, yeah, I know. Because you always said, let's make caboose chicken. And then we'd eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only called caboose chicken because we were in a caboose and we ate it.
Yeah, we were
That sounds weird out of context.
We were at the Platte River State Park, and we made it over the campfire. And out there they have like 7 or 8 cabooses that you can rent, and they're decked out with showers and beds and bunks and everything. And so we just started calling it caboose chicken.
Yep, and the name stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make it, you have to call it caboose chicken.
There you go.
Well, anyways, how have you been? Good.
Long day at work. Had some clerks not show up, so they called parcel throwing at 8:30, and then we had to pull down and leave, and then they called us back when they finished them. So it just made for a long day.
Those fuckers.
So I ended up backtracking and going to places I'd already been. So, but I guess it's just how it goes.
Well, before we get into the show, I know we've talked.
Let's tell everybody what we're watching on the Fast Intentions monitors this evening.
Oh, well, that wasn't where I was going.
Oh.
But I'll do it, I guess. Well, I always have the Boston Celtics up when they're playing, and they're in the fourth quarter right now against the Charlotte Hornets. And then we always have the Monday Night Football game on. So, yeah. I mean, it's pretty consistent. Yeah, it's a Super Bowl rematch.
You go 7-7.
Yeah, who scored for? Oh, it was Swift, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Not Taylor Swift.
No.
DeAndre Swift.
She's just in the suites sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she's there that game. Because we had this conversation already. Because everywhere you go, you see fucking Taylor Swift now.
I know. The Chiefs are known as the Fighting Taylor Swifts now. I'm sure she'll write a song about being a Chiefs fan one of these days. Well, apparently she professed to be a Steelers fan at one point, and then she was an Eagles fan. Now she's dating Travis Kelce, so I guess she's a Chiefs fan now. She's pretty wishy-washy, it sounds like to me.
Well, trust her. Sounds like she doesn't care that much. Yeah. She's just rooting for the team her boyfriend plays on.
There you go.
Which is acceptable in my eyes.
And since it's episode 31, what's that mean, Nathan?
We turn the podcast off. I'm joking. We don't do that. It's famous players.
Well, hopefully none of our listeners do that until we're done.
And they do, but it's okay.
Click, 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 click.
Oh, I got rid of the page that had my 31s on it.
Oh, no.
Because I wrote them down, but I kind of want it up, so I have the information here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess who the first person listed on this? This is a different website, too. This isn't a fan-ranked website.
I was thinking. I'm trying to think if I can think of any 31s.
Well, this is from 2016 too. So if there's been any new famous 31s that have come on,
That's like 7 years without.
yeah. But how many famous 31s have come along in 7 years?
Well, I don't know. But we won't know either.
Mike Piazza is the first one.
Hmm.
As you take a big sip of your coffee.
Gotta warm the cockles of my hearts.
Ew. Could have called it something else. Nothing to say about Mike Piazza?
Good player.
Okay. Well, hopefully he's on the list. Donnie Shell,
I remember Donnie Shaw, defensive back. Yep.
the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jamal Lewis.
Running back for the hated Ravens.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller, Mr. What was that? 11 points in 12 seconds or something against the Knicks at one time?
I think it was 9 points in 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Because then Tracy McGrady had like 13 points in 40 seconds. So
Him and Spike Lee were getting into it.
yeah. I don't know exactly. Because, yeah, he made a 3 and then he stole and he shot another 3 right away.
Yeah, he was skinny though, man. He had like the skinniest arms.
Ferguson Jenkins.
Okay, Fergie. Yeah, baseball player.
Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux.
Billy Smith.
Billy Smith.
It's a
I feel
hockey.
the heat from that.
I don't know. That Big Chuck Smith. Jim Taylor.
Oh, yeah, Jim Taylor. Packer great.
Yeah, it says you play for the Packers right here.
Oh, no, Snead just making a tackle. Dang it.
Uh-oh. Fantasy talk.
Yeah, I know, right.
Dave Winfield.
Oh, Dave Winfield. Played for many, many teams.
My personal favorite, John Lester. Even though he's not the number one.
Yeah, the Royals stole like 7 bases off him in the 2015 wild card game. They said he never throws over to first, And Rusty Kuntz finally got the Royals a run, and then it turned into a track meet, and they came all the way back.
He also threw a no-hitter against the Royals in 2007.
Yep, he did.
Sorry, I had to throw my comment in there.
That's right.
Even though it was against Athletics, so it didn't matter. William Andrews.
Okay, yeah. Running back for the Falcons, I believe, back in the day.
Cedric Maxwell for the Boston Celtics.
Cornbread, nicknamed Cornbread.
Then they have
I bet you Vern remembers that. Shout out, Vern.
and then Cam Chancellor's on here.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest are some hockey people. So
Okay.
I named one hockey person. So shout out to hockey fans. Even though I've been watching Pittsburgh and they lost 2 times I watched them. And then they were on the NHL Network last night, and YouTube TV doesn't have the NHL Network, so I couldn't watch them, and they fucking shut out the Golden Knights. I go, maybe I should just not watch Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit this year. So.
Well, they won 5 in a row, and I started watching. They lost 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't watch this game because of cable technicalities, and then they win.
Cable technicalities.
Yeah.
You didn't pay your bill?
No, my cable does not feature it.
I see.
But then I did a free trial with Fubo TV because they said they had NHL Network, and then they didn't have it, so I canceled.
Liars.
Yeah. So, and then UNO hockey split with Denver this weekend.
I heard that. Because Denver's ranked, what, second in the nation?
Third/4.
Third/4. Well, that's a good win for UNO.
Yeah. Well, they were up like 2-1 against them on the Friday night game, and then they gave up like 7 straight goals.
Wow.
They lost like 8-4.
Ouch.
But this game on Saturday, after the first period, they had like an ice issue that they were trying to fix during a delay, and then they couldn't get it fixed. So then they had to play on Sunday. They had to play the last 2 periods on Sunday. But then it was like 0-0, and they scored 4 goals in the second. So it worked out. But anyways, that's besides the point. We're here to talk about other stuff. Kind of. Even though you're shaking your head. Is something happened in the football game?
Snead just got an interception.
Oh. We play IDP in one of these leagues. So. Do we want to complain about fantasy for a bit?
No.
No? Okay. I saw.
I'm about done with fantasy. I'm about ready to retire from that stuff.
He said this for the last 6 years. So I wouldn't take it. I'd take it with a grain of salt. He talks about he doesn't like it, but then he loves it.
No, I don't like it.
I love fantasy football as much as it bothers me. It's fun to bitch and complain.
Yeah.
Like how I drafted a God Squad and I went 1-4 and my sister is undefeated. Even though she's lost 2 in a row, and she may lose 3 in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Grace, who's not listening.
That should be the Eagles' ball. A.J. Brown stripped it right back from Snead.
Yeah,
clear as day. He was up and took it right from his hands.
All right. Well, let's get back on track.
All right.
About the stuff we don't really have a whole lot to talk about.
No.
But there was something you wrote on there that I totally forgot, and so would you like me to mention it now, even though you don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I just I have a few notes on baseball. some baseball topics, and then we'll probably delve in a little bit to the Nebraska game and what we observed.
Yes. So back to what I was saying. The A's are moving to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Continuing the trend of leaving Oakland because the Coliseum sucks doo-doo. And
It's falling apart.
Oakland doesn't want to help provide funds to build a new arena. So everyone just said, all right, screw you, we're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then the A's have terrible attendance anyways because the ballpark sucks. The team's not competing. They're like in a complete rebuild. It's just garbage. The only time they showed up, they got 20,000 people to have that weird protest where they were like chanting, sell the team every like. Once it was out in the visitors thing, they had all these cheers they did, which was kind of cool because you feel bad for the Oakland people. Because, I mean, even though Oakland hasn't been really good for the last 10 years, I'd say, since like they would make the wild card game every year. Even then, they weren't that good. I mean, they were good, but they weren't like
Moneyball.
They weren't competing. Yeah, since Moneyball, they're a very historic franchise. A lot of winning. They're up there in the World Series titles. So it's kind of weird when a historic team that's been in the city forever and accomplished a lot leaves. It just never feels quite right.
Yeah, it's always tough when a team picks up and moves. Just a few details. All 30 owners approved the move. However, the A's won't have a permanent stadium to play in until 2028. So they'll be playing somewhere else until then. This is the first move by a MLB team since 2005 when Montreal moved to D.C.
It became the Nationals.
And a side note, the Nevada Teachers Union has filed a lawsuit regarding the plan to build the stadium because they've committed $380 million towards it. And apparently they feel like those funds could be used somewhere else. So that means interesting to see how that comes about and what happens there.
They'll probably just get some more money.
Mm-hmm. Atlanta's been named host of the 2025 All-Star Game. Now, if you remember, they were supposed to host the game several years ago, but because of some laws they passed in that state that people thought weren't equality-based, that they pulled the game from Atlanta, and now they've got a chance to get it back. So
Yeah, that was the bathroom thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because the NBA All-Star Game got moved to Charlotte because of that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You should be socially conscious, as a league, and be all inclusive, because even though somebody might not come out and say that they're this or that, behind the scenes they could be. So
Yeah, I don't want to be like the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of Pride Night because of some stupid goalie doesn't want to wear a rainbow on his jersey.
Yeah. So
because there's a lot more important things in the world to deal with than that.
Here I thought I saw the list of the first-time nominees for the Baseball Hall of Fame, and I thought I'd run them down for you. Maybe have you make your comments or what you think about them, or something you might know, and whether or not you think they're either first ballot worthy or worthy at all. All right.
I'm ready. You see me?
Okay.
You see me bobbing back and forth?
Yep.
I'm getting in the zone.
Mind you, this list does not include previously named players.
AutoZone.
So just because you get nominated your first year when you're eligible, and then if you don't make it, you keep getting nominated. So those guys aren't included. This is just the first-time nominees.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah. All right, first one is Adrian Beltre.
First ballot.
First ballot?
Should be. Well, he'll be in the Hall of Fame anyways, but I think he deserves to get in. 100%.
Okay. Joe Mauer?
He deserves to get in too.
All right.
One of the greatest hitting catchers of all time.
Overall number 1 draft pick. Played for his hometown Twins his whole career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple time MVP. Oh, was it multiple time?
I'm not sure.
I think he won MVP
Maybe.
though.
Jose Bautista.
Yeah.
Now, to me, when I wrote his name down, I go, it doesn't seem like he had quit playing that long ago. But
Well, he was
apparently he has.
he was scrounging around for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jose Bautista. He had a few good years, but is a Hall of Fame worthy? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would get 75%. I would say probably not on Mr. Bautista, even though one of the greatest bat flips of all time.
Yeah, he kind of started that craze, I think. Bartolo Colon,
Kind of a journeyman.
the heavyweight pitcher.
He's definitely a character.
Pitch for a number of teams.
Yeah, he's a journeyman for sure. He's on a shit ton of teams. I don't know about Hall of Fame on him either. I'd probably say definitely not first ballot.
Yeah, I'd agree there.
Maybe if they decide to Maybe it's like one of those ones later with whether not the 10 years.
Veterans Committee.
Yeah, the Veterans Committee lets Bartolo in because he hit that home run.
Adrian Gonzalez. You know a little bit about Adrian. He played for the Sox for a few years.
He's very good for a few years too. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy either. He's a very good player.
Oh, he's probably a Hall of Fame defensive first baseman.
He was very good defensively.
But offensively, I don't know.
Maybe he'll be one where it's like San Diego decides, we'll put him in our San Diego Hall of Fame. But yeah, because then he went to the Dodgers. He was pretty good with the Dodgers too.
Okay. This next one's pretty apropos for this time of year. Matt Holliday.
Probably not.
Kelsey with his first catch of the evening.
I mean, nice. These are all good players, but Hall of Fame, I don't think so.
Okay. Victor Martinez.
I do like Victor Martinez. He's a very good baseball player. I don't know if he would have the credentials to do so. And I don't have like their stats like in front of me.
Well, I don't either.
Very good defensive catcher if we're talking about defense.
Yeah. Well, he spent the last few years just DHing basically for the Tigers, but always one of the top hitters in the league for average and power, even for a couple of years. So
and defense.
I don't know if he's the first ballot, but I think he'll definitely make it in.
Well, if like Pudge Rodriguez can get in, why wouldn't?
Yeah.
The Celtics are blowing this game. Sorry, just 10 seconds left.
Well, focus.
I'm trying.
Brandon Phillips.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, Brandon Phillips.
Jose Reyes.
I don't think Jose Reyes would either.
Okay. James Shields. Big game James Shields.
See, he had a good 3-4 year stretch where he was like
good, but he was never
very
dominant. I mean, he helped
all-star player.
He helped set up the Devil Rays, Tampa Bay, their pitching staff. He was a
number one for them.
He was like the big let's see, what's the word I want? He's like the mentor to the younger guys there, and then got traded to the Royals and kind of helped lead that staff.
Still big game over there.
Yeah, and pitched pretty well. Hall of Fame worthy? I would say probably not, but just a pivotal role for helping a couple younger teams, mature and give them a role model.
I would say if James Shields was prime James Shields for like a whole career, probably, but his prime was too short to probably even be considered. Okay. I would say
Chase Utley.
Chase Utley, I think, would definitely have some consideration. I think he's just kind of one of those guys that's respected. Except with the whole slide thing, where he's the reason why you can't like slide in anyone anymore. Yeah, because he broke what's his face's leg. Yep. But I don't know. I feel like he's not first ballot either, but I think he could be one to get in like later.
Okay. And last one on the list, David Wright.
David Wright probably get later too. Big New York Met.
Third baseman for the Mets, yeah.
Yeah, and then he had a lot of injuries to end his career, which was kind of unfortunate.
The famous run by Eric Hosmer in 2015 took advantage of him because he had hurt his arm, so he couldn't really fire the ball across, so he had to kind of loop his throw and kind of lob it. Not like a traditional lob, but just not like a bullet. And Eric Hosmer took advantage of that because it took longer to get there. So famous play.
Yeah, so I don't know about. I think Beltre, and Mauer are pretty. They should make it. So, but that's just my opinion. It's all up to the Baseball Writers Association.
Mahomes with the interception in the end zone. Eagles get the ball to 20. Kevin Byard with the pick.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I have him in my fantasy team.
I know you do. That's why I mentioned it.
I picked him up because I think Mike dropped him. But that's also bad because I have Mahomes in another league. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of. I'm only up by like 3 in one league, and I have Kelsey. Another guy is Devontae Smith, so I need Kelsey to do something. Mm-hmm. The Mahomes league I should win, and then I'm already beating Scott's ass. No offense, Scott. Love you, buddy. But my team actually did stuff.
I'm sure that's one person who's definitely not listening.
No. Well, and then Mark Andrews out for the year now.
That's all right. Let's turn the page. College football.
Right. That's not all right. That's messed up.
Okay, let's get into the Husker game. Were you able to watch the Nebraska game?
Don't discredit what I was saying. Poor Mark Andrews is out for the year. Show him some respect, man.
I said it's too bad.
Well, you said it kind of sarcastically, so.
I meant it sarcastically.
I know.
So were you able to watch the Nebraska game?
Yes, I watched the whole thing.
Nice. Well, boys got off to a hot start.
Sorry, I just didn't say anything intentionally.
Purdy, got loose on a scramble play and went, 60 yards, 70 yards on a play.
I think it was like
Broken
55.
play, showed some speed. And then later on, he connected with Jalen Lloyd on a crossing pattern that Jalen Lloyd broke a tackle and took to the house. So Nebraska's up 14-0. You're sitting pretty good, and you're feeling, hey, this might be the game to break the streak. And then they stop. They get the ball back to driving, and they come to a 4th and 1. And this is my first issue with play calling of the night. They try to line up in a power formation against Wisconsin. And Wisconsin lines up in their heavy package to offset it. Snap the ball. Nebraska's center and guards each get pushed 3-4 yards back into the backfield. No chance. Turn the ball over. Wisconsin's got the ball. Momentum's totally switched now.
Was it what?
And from that point on, Nebraska did not score again until they kicked the field goal to tie the game with 3 seconds left.
Was that 4th down? Was that a reverse sweep or?
No, it was just they tried to run up the middle.
Okay.
They tried a power game.
Well, I'm getting confused with the Green Bay game because I think they did a reverse on 4th
Nebraska
down.
isn't good enough to line up in a power set and run power when the other team knows you're doing it and you give them time. Now, if you do it like in a hurry up, like they did later, fine. But Nebraska's line is not good enough just to line up heavy package and let the other team line up nose to nose with you and expect to win that battle. Nebraska will not win that battle. But they played pretty well in defense, but the offense just got real stagnant. Once again, left the defense out there, like time and time again. And slowly but surely, Wisconsin just kind of warmed down. You kept pounding the rock, little dink and dunk passes. They didn't really even try to throw the ball down the field very much. And Nebraska held their own because generally in these games when Nebraska goes to Wisconsin, what you find is that Wisconsin just runs for hundreds of yards against Nebraska.
But they said they averaged 300 yards per game on the ground against us.
Yeah, well,
since that win streak.
Braylon Allen, leading rusher, was held under 3 yards a carry. I think he had 22 carries for like 60-some yards. And he did have a couple touchdowns, but Nebraska did a great job containing him. And they also tackled much better this game. We talked about their tackling last game where it was kind of weak, but they did tackle much better this game. But do you want to get down to we'll kind of skip to the last drive there where they had the ball. They're down by 3 and they're driving down the field and moving it pretty well. And then once they get to about Wisconsin's 30, it seems like to me Matt Rhule decided to play for the field goal and not the win.
Well, it didn't seem like it. That's what he did.
Because they just let the clock run, weren't running any plays, they're just standing around, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna get close enough to kick the field goal and tie it and go to overtime. Well, me personally, I don't like Nebraska's odds going to overtime in a game, no matter who it is. And it's good they trust Alvano, but he took one shot at the end zone and the guy was double covered. And to Purdy's credit, he did throw the ball out of the end zone. It was either the guy was going to make some miraculous catch or no way was going to get it. But
yeah,
and I know a lot of people comparing to last week, and they're all saying, well, it's a different, it's different because there was, 3.5 minutes left in that game, whereas this was for the win or possible win. But I'm frustrated because of how they approached the game last week. Like, we want the mentality where we don't want to just settle for a tie. We want to go for the win. And then yet this week you turn around and you're settling for the tie and not going for the win. So I just don't get the change in philosophy. And the way that Nebraska was moving the ball, I thought they could have maybe punched it in, on a play here or there. And I just didn't understand the whole mindset of what they were thinking at that point in the ball game.
Well, I don't really get the whole timeout usage anyways, because even when they were driving at the end of the first half, he would just refuse to use his timeouts until there was like 30 seconds left in there. Which, I mean, I guess is okay because you can take like some shots or some dunks in the red zone, but like, I don't know. I feel like he just feels like he needs to grasp and hold on to all his timeouts and conserve them all. But, I mean, it was obvious that he didn't have much. I don't want to say he didn't have trust or faith in Purdy, but I mean, after last week, he was probably adamant, like we should go for the tie and give ourselves a chance instead of giving the situation away. Because he even said at like the press conference, well, last week they didn't want us to go for it. They want us to kick a field goal, and then we kicked the field goal this week. So I think that was pretty verbatim what he said. So, I mean, I don't really necessarily agree. I would have tried to go for the win, I think, but I think he was scared to put the ball in Purdy's hand and expect him to make a play.
Well, there are plays you can run that are low percentage of, something going wrong. I know, I guess, obviously that's what they thought last week, and then look what happened. And we can reflect back on that. Like Malachi Coleman didn't even try to catch that ball. It looked like he could have just reached up and grabbed it and walked in the end zone, but he just kind of let it go over his head. But yeah, Purdy was running the ball pretty effectively. The team was running the ball fairly effectively. Run something to the outside. They did a good job holding on to the ball this game. Just at least try to make it look like you're going for the win. I mean, basically, you just could tell they were just settling. They just were playing to get the field goal to go to overtime. And when you have a chance to maybe win the game and call game, make your shot, it's over, instead of going to overtime and it's a 50-50 shot at best. And then your team couldn't stop Wisconsin. They score a touchdown, and then after we'll talk about this, a weird play call on first down, and then a short play on second, then or a penalty. There was a penalty. So you're trying to convert a third and then fourth and 18 or 19. And the odds of that are way, way low. So,
yeah, a lot of bad penalties this game. I feel like the offensive line is always making some sort of issue, make a third and short even longer, or a third and long even longer than what it is, especially when we can't move the ball effectively. It's very frustrating. And I felt like there was a lot of times where Purdy was dropping back and then running right away. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about how we mention every week now how our skilled position at the wide receiver is pretty lacking, or young, I guess now.
Very young, yeah.
Very young now, because all the people that were lacking aren't even playing anymore. But, yeah, it was a lot of 3rd and 8s, and then I feel like he would just drop, trying to run, and you get outside for like 2 yards and got a punt again. And then the defense was very frustrating this week too, because it's hard when you got a quarterback that can move, but there was a lot of QB scrambles from Mordecai picking up first downs. 3rd and 8, first down. 3rd and 9, first down. But then that I can't think of that receiver for Wisconsin. He was pretty good. I don't know his name.
Yeah, number 6.
Yeah, so converting a lot but it's frustrating when the defense makes a decent stand. You get a 3rd and long, and then they convert it every time. But you got to give them credit. It's kind of that bend don't break mentality. There was a lot of 4th downs in our territory with Wisconsin. They've made multiple 4th and 1 stops, so defense did enough. But
I was impressed when they stopped Wisconsin those 4th down runs. I mean,
they did it twice, yeah.
Because generally, like I said, the history of this series, they just kind of run over Nebraska. So what did you think of the first play call for Nebraska on offense in overtime? From what I saw, it looked like it was going to be one of those run pass options where they run like they're going to run the option, and they're pretty supposed to drop back and throw it. But he didn't really drop back, and I saw him kind of pump fake it like he wanted to throw it, but then never did. And then just took a big loss.
I don't remember exactly what the play was, to be honest.
Well, they ran an option looking at the screen, it would have been the far side of the field. And as Purdy rolled out, he kind of like pumped the ball like he was going to throw it and didn't do it. And then he got sacked or dropped for a big loss. And that put him behind the sticks right off the bat.
I'm not sure. Also, some of Purdy's option pitches were kind of – because they were talking about one where the guy defended both positions because
he pitched way too soon.
Yeah, and then the guy just went over and rammed a –
Yeah, we just talked about that. We just talked about that a couple pods ago, if not last pod, about how you have to draw the guy to you before you pitch it. So the guy can't play both players.
Yeah.
You got to make him a commit.
I don't remember, but I always hate reverse like sweeps. They work sometimes, but then a lot of times it's just you're going like 6 yards backwards. And at some point it's just like just run the ball up the middle.
Well, they did run that one trick play, and it would have worked, but somebody didn't block the offside linebacker. And credit to him because he stayed home and they diagnosed the play. But Corcoran didn't get out there to block the guy. I mean, if Purdy would have had any time, Malachi Coleman was breaking free, and that would have been a for sure touchdown. And then you had the momentum back. Nebraska's up 17-7 or whatever, and things are looking good again.
I thought that was on the same drive with the Hyatt touchdown.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I don't remember either because once that first two drives happened, it was they all kind of blended together.
Yeah, I mean the play was there. They just didn't execute.
Purdy looked good though.
So. Yeah, he did look good.
It's kind of crazy because you wait to see him kind of move and throw the ball, and it's like, how the hell did they like look at him and Harburg and then?
Well, he had a groin issue.
Well, that's true.
All year.
They did say that, but yeah, it's just kind of it's like, what the hell? You got that guy sitting there. He looks real good. So.
Another tough loss for Nebraska. I mean, they played better overall, but in the end, L's an L. So, but you started talking about Purdy, so I wanted to. We want to break down and each talk about our positives from the game and any negatives from the game that we saw. So, you have any positive thoughts from the game? Something you saw that made you feel pretty good?
I mean, Purdy looked good. That's about all I can say, really. I mean, I think Emmett Johnson's been the bright spot. He's looked really good. His chances he's gotten. It's kind of hard. I feel like they don't give him the ball enough. Well, they really want to like.
They try to rotate all those guys in, keep them fresh, and I get it. So,
but then Grant didn't look too bad either.
No, he did get hurt for a little bit there.
Yeah, like I said, the defense was frustrating with those third downs. But at some point they gave up 17. Like, what else do you like expect them to do? You can't. Because Nebraska's defense is really good, you can say, well, they didn't do good here, they didn't do good there. But at some point, you can't just rely on them to be like 100% outstanding the whole time. So as it was kind of frustrating, a lot of QB scrambles, picking up a lot of yards. It's just like, come on, like the offense, you can't just leave them out to dry all game.
Well, that one of my positives I had written down was about Chuba. I liked when he threw the ball, he looked real decisive. He found his target that he wanted, and he stepped into his throws, made good, strong throws, and he threw a lot of catchable balls. There wasn't a lot of balls where they were behind guys or, way high. I mean, the last play of the game was kind of high, but actually the play before that, the receiver, I don't remember who it was, had his hands on the ball, and he should have caught that pass. I mean, he had his hands on it. But Chuba threw the ball real well, put it where it needed to be. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't turn it over. Of course, he had the interception at the end of the game. But I mean,
that's another positive. The turnovers.
You can discount that one because that was just chuck it and hope for something to happen. But he looked real decisive. I mean, he showed speed. He was fast.
Oh shit, he was flying on that touchdown.
Yeah, and I think he definitely put himself in the mix for possible playing time next year as in the quarterback rotation. So,
well, especially if they can't get anyone else.
Yeah, well, Sims will be gone, and Harburg will probably still be there. But I mean,
Harburg shouldn't be
based on what I saw. I mean, and I know it's just one game, but Chuba showed all the necessary tools and talents that you want from your quarterback. So,
which is funny because
if he's healthy, I expect him to start against Iowa. And
because didn't Purdy start a few games last year and he didn't look good.
Last time he started that I can remember was when we were in Boston and they played against Michigan at Michigan, and they just played horrible.
Well,
they got way laid up there.
Well, in defense, that's also against Michigan.
Yeah,
who's in a completely different class than us.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess it's not hard to really judge that. So
my next positive is defense. Like you said, looked good. They tackled much better. Last week, I thought they kind of got lazy towards the end of the game, and it cost them. This game, they came up, wrapped up, hit, played good defense. Now that touchdown in overtime where they scored, and the announcers were going on and on about Braylon Allen, his leg churning, kept churning his leg, never gave up, never stopped. Well, he had 7 fucking people pushing him. Kelsey just scored. Had 7 of the fucking Eagles guys push him in the end zone. Now, I'm not a big proponent of that, where you're trying to stop a guy, then all of a sudden these other guys just come out of nowhere and just start pushing. I mean, if you have 7 guys on one side and only 2 on the other, you're going to lose. I mean, it's not. I think once the guys stop, basically the play should be called. You shouldn't just allow the rest of the team to push him in the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Reimer who they showed him. He went back there, start pushing, and all of a sudden he just started going way back. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess whatever you can discount it or discredit. I mean, approve it or what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Just keep going.
Positive. We mentioned real quick, just the one turnover, and at the end of the game, not a biggie. I like the linebackers looked decisive and seemed to find the runners, fill the holes, fill the gaps. We can talk about the play with Heinrich bull rushed and ran over Braylon Allen and almost got the sack, and then Braylon Allen tripped him, and that went uncalled. So, I mean, Heinrich basically just ran. Was it Heinrich or Reimer? I can't remember. It might have been. Who's number 4? Is it Reimer?
Yeah.
Well, he bull rushed, came up the middle on a delayed blitz, ran over Braylon Allen, and then as Braylon Allen kind of fell over to his side, he kicked his leg. He kept his legs out, and he ended up tripping him.
Yeah.
Which cost him just enough time and let the quarterback get away and throw an incomplete pass and keep the drive alive. So missed call there. That should tripping. That was 15 yards. That's a easy missed call right there. So that was tough to see. I mean, when you lose, you always go back and try to find the little details that might have made the difference. But I mean, that seemed pretty obvious. I don't know how they missed it, and I don't know why Nebraska didn't get in there and argue about that one more than they did. But
yeah.
Yep. Any more positives you saw from the game?
No, I think I said most of them.
Okay. Any negatives?
I don't know. Time management or coach decisiveness.
Yeah.
It's about it. I mean, at the end of the day, I was kind of okay with them kicking the field goal, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, but kicking the field goal and tying it, is better than losing any day. But you had a chance to maybe get the win, and you didn't even really try, not at all. You said you threw one pass towards the end zone, but you sailed it over the head of the receiver. Was double covered, so you really had no shot. But that was the only time they even tried to go for the end zone. Now I mentioned this last time. Punting woes, Brian Buschini.
That
still struggled. Just he's not getting the ball deep enough. They pooch punt from like their 40, and he only kicks it to the 15 of the opponent. Man, come on, you need to get that guy inside the 5-yard line. All our dudes end up back there when the other team's punting and pinning us deep. He needs to do better, and I don't know what's going on. He started out the year doing really well, and now he's kind of regressed, and so he needs to find himself.
Well, the 15-yarder at the 15-yard line was near as bad as the 18-yard punt. Well, you only kicked it like the 40 and it bounced back to the 50 or whatever it was. I mean, if you can usually pin them deep inside the 20, I'm okay with it. It's better than a touchback. But if you think about it, yardage-wise. But, yeah, he hasn't looked good. So, which is very disappointing. And then Alvano, he's super young. He's only 18. They talk about it all the time. He's only 18 years old. The worst thing is to be a kicker when you're 18. But it's kind of disappointing the way he's been, and Buschini. So
yeah, Alvano did miss that kick at the end of the first half, and it wasn't so bad that he missed it. But I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, he had it way out right and never even had a chance. So that was kicking game struggling still. They need to definitely shore that up because Alvano is going to have a big role if they're going to beat Iowa this coming weekend. Next is receivers. Receivers need to make the catches. I mean, we talk about Purdy throwing good ball, throwing catchable balls. Well, the guys need to catch the ball and help them out. I mean, when your team's struggling to score like they are, if the quarterback puts the ball on you, you need to catch it. I mean, that's your job to catch it, and that's what you're paid to do. NIL money. So the receivers need to do a better job of catching the ball and pulling it in.
I feel like I'm getting my games confused because I just watched Green Bay yesterday. Sorry. Thinking about stuff. I need to maybe I should rewatch the game before we do this podcast. Because you're talking about plays. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Okay. Not bad on penalties. 7 for 54 yards. Not too bad. Nothing super costly that I can recall.
Just those annoying ones on third down that they always do.
That happens.
All those damn false starts.
Happens a lot. But that's just a synonymous of Nebraska.
Clean that up.
See what else. We talked about the play calling. I wasn't enamored with the play calling and just the philosophy. I mean, if you're going to talk about, like I said, if you're going to talk about going for the win one week and then the next week you have the opportunity and then you do everything but go for the win, I don't get it. So
they don't.
But still looking for that elusive 6th win to become bowl eligible. They've been in the games. They've lost 3 in a row now to Maryland and
Michigan State,
and now
Wisconsin.
Excuse me. Yeah. So if they're going to go bowling, they have to knock off Iowa, their new rival in Nebraska, Black Friday.
We're favored by 1.5.
I would just put on a good performance this weekend to claim the Big West title, so they'll be in the Big Ten championship game. Your thoughts about Nebraska Iowa next week, and you think Nebraska can get that sixth bowl making win?
Ironically, technically the best record wise, the team I feel the most confident against Iowa, just because their offense is so pitiful. They're barely beaten.
Well, Michigan State's offense is pretty pitiful, and we couldn't stop them.
Well, Iowa's looks worse, no offense. But they're barely beating Indiana. They're barely beating Northwestern. I mean, they kind of just feel like us. And I feel like we would have a better defense than those other teams. And I think, out of all the other, maybe you're right about Michigan State being pretty pitiful too. But just as bad as Iowa's been offensively, we should have beat Michigan State too. That's a lot of
those teams all came in on losing streaks. I think Michigan State lost 4 in a row. Maryland had lost 3 in a row.
But it's at home.
Wisconsin lost 2 in a row.
Michigan State was on the road. Wisconsin was on the road. The Maryland game was disappointing, but they had every chance to win that game if they didn't turn the ball over like 20,000 times. So going at home against Iowa, the rival that they're always going to be pumped up against, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like this is going to be like a 13-10 game. Nebraska's going to win.
You talked about that.
Nah, that's my prediction. 13-10 Nebraska. And let's go bowling. Plus, I just want to see them make you're so close to a bowl game. You kind of want them. Yeah. You just want to get it.
I mean, if they could have got it earlier, this would all have been gravy, and who knows what they would have been doing. Now they could have been maybe 7-5 or.
Well, I don't care if we make a bowl game.
8-4.
If this is a bowl game, my expectations for the season's out the water already. So.
Well, and we've talked about it. I mean, at the beginning of the season, 5 wins. And if you told anybody they had 5 wins, most people would have been pretty happy with that. But now you got there so early, and now you have a chance to go to a bowl. And this is the most favorable schedule Nebraska will have in a long time because you got all these new schools coming in next year. With USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. These are strong teams coming in, and I'd pretty much say right now they're all better than Nebraska at this point. So it's gonna be tough for Nebraska going forward, and there's no more divisions, so it's just straight win loss. No matter who you are. So I mean, this was Nebraska's best shot in many years to get to a bowl after getting to 5-3, and yet here we are. Now we're 5-6 and still looking for that elusive 6th win.
Yeah. All right, you ready for Matt Rhule's press conference notes?
Yeah.
All right. Once again, shout out to Twitter, 247 Huskers. It says 247 because I don't think they can put a slash in there. So they always write notes from the press conference on Monday, and I usually like to read them. Except last week it was on Tuesday, so that was kind of awkward. So I'm just going to read exactly what he has listed down. Grateful for 24 seniors who have given their all to this program. And then whenever I read something, you can just comment if you want to. Some may walk, but still come back for another year. Lots of decisions to be made. Short week will be similar to Illinois. Didn't practice on Sunday, but met and watched film. Never going to give guys advice that's not in their best interest in regards to going to the NFL or not. So you're going to tell them the good stuff.
Well, we kind of established in the off season when we were talking about Coach Rhule that he always seemed to have the players' best interests at heart. More so for them than the program.
Third time we've lost in the last play of the game this season. It would be great for the program, players young and old, to make a bowl game. Extra month for practices would be huge for the development of young guys. This group has done nothing but fight all year. Heinrich Harburg is healthy, and that was in bold. Chubba Purdy and Coach Rhule sat down on Sunday and identified plays that should have been made. Chubba just needs more reps on certain plays. It wasn't too big for Chubba. When you see someone have success, it usually stems from adversity they've overcome. This is bold. And this is a quote. I told him before the game, you're going to play well, and people are going to ask why you didn't play earlier. As I stated earlier. Iowa's defense is stout and doesn't give up big plays. Going to control the clock on offense. Nebraska and Iowa have similar stats, but Iowa has less turnovers. So hopefully they can repeat what they did on Saturday. They're so comfortable in a 7-3 game. I can't tell you how much respect I have for Brian Ferentz and Kirk Ferentz. Heroes game means a lot to players and community. Thought Nebraska played free versus Iowa last year. This is a quote. If you did an autopsy and cut open the football program here, it's as healthy as can be. This is another quote. Development is the development. Improvement is the improvement. Quote.
Seems pretty straightforward.
quote, I couldn't be happier about where we are. I couldn't be angrier about our record. Okay, and then these are not quotes. Transfer portal and recruiting is not stressful, according to him. Coaches outside the program bought players last year, and when coach looks at the stats, it might have not been the best thing for them. Coaches outside the program bought players last year. When coach looks at the stats, might not have been the best thing for them. Okay. Like to build a base of what we do with the homegrown roster while also utilizing the transfer portal. Don't want a short-term fix. Oh, and then we could talk about this a little bit. Search firms called Coach Rule to get Tony White's information about a recommendation for a head coaching position. And he told Tony White to only go to a good program, not just any program, and give him a real shot. Tony White is real smart, and he's ready to be a head coach. So that was the thing. Search firms were calling him, and he gave him his blessing. But just to go to a very good program, don't just take whatever job you get. And to be happy for him to do whatever.
Well, I mean, selfishly, you'd want him to stay here. But, I mean, just like the players, you're here to cultivate your coach's, career. And if they can parlay what they're doing into a head coaching gig, that's what most all of them want. So, I mean, it would suck to lose Tony White after he did so great with the team this year. But, he's going to do what's best for him and his family. And, if becoming a head coach is what he wants, ultimately to be, then why not let him have the shot if it's offered? Because you never know if it'll come again.
All right, 3 more notes. Would have called a timeout of 30 seconds instead of 20. This gives us 2 shots at the end zone. He didn't want to throw an interception or give Wisconsin too much time. Can't always listen to analytics. So there you go. Yep. And then there's an actual video of him saying, I couldn't be happier about where we are. I couldn't be angrier about our record. Tony White will be a head coach very soon.
Yeah, maybe this year. Yeah, I have one more quote from Coach Rule that you didn't include, and he's just talking about
24/7 Huskers didn't include.
He's talking about positives following the game, and he did say, "quote I had guys walking in saying, Coach, I want to come back next year and play." And then he went on to say, "I have recruits call me saying, Coach, I want to come there." So we'll see. We'll see how the recruiting goes in the next few weeks. But yeah, Iowa's coming up, Black Friday game. This will be the last year that it's Iowa for a while. I think it's Minnesota next year. And then it'll be back to Iowa, I believe. So they've taken a little hiatus for whatever reason. So
what's your prediction?
I was just going to get to that. Just based on the way things have gone last week, I just can't see. I hate to say it, I just don't see Nebraska getting over the hump, and I think the Hawkeye defense is just going to be too tough for Nebraska to score enough.
Boo!
And I actually see maybe Iowa getting a defensive touchdown of some sort. So, I just see Iowa winning. I just don't see Nebraska doing enough to win on offense, and. Iowa doesn't have much of a pass game either, so they're just going to come out and pound the rock, and eventually the Husker defense is going to wear down some. And I just think something's going to break free, and Iowa guy's going to get like a 50-yard run or something, and just 14-10, something pretty close to what you say. I don't see it being much of a blowout or anything, but yeah, I just unfortunately I just can't see Nebraska win if they weren't able to beat these last 3 teams. Iowa's the best of the 4 that they've played, and I just don't see it coming through. But, it's a rival. It's Black Friday. Hopefully the weather will be decent, and maybe Nebraska can pull the upset. I'd be more than happy to see Nebraska win. I was super excited to finally see them beat Iowa last year, so that was awesome.
They're going to do it again, baby. 2 in a row.
All right. Well, you want to zip into our nuggets?
Well, I don't have any nuggets, so.
Okay, well, I guess I'll get in the capsule by myself.
All right, see ya.
Send me off.
See ya. I'm leaving.
All right, my first nugget is, even though we've been talking about Michigan a lot lately for the wrong reasons, they did earn their program's 1,000th. Is that how you say it? 1,000th? Their 1,000th. I can't talk now. 1,000th victory in history. So when they held on and beat Maryland, so that's a big record. I think they might be only the first or second team to ever do that, have that many wins in program history. So props to Michigan on that. They might not have gotten to the 1,000 the right way, but they did get to the 1,000. So shout out Michigan there.
You kind of sound like Mike Tyson there.
I know, right? Let's see. What else did I have? I know I had something else. I got to find it.
Well, hello, everyone listening to the Fast Attention Podcast.
Yeah, hello.
I'm going to stall a little bit while my dad tries to find his last nugget.
Yeah.
I love chicken nuggets. Ranch is pretty good with them.
Speaking of that, you're going back to your old job tomorrow, so you're going to have to definitely do all that. So, well, I can't find my notes, so we'll just go with that one nugget. But
what about that nugget?
Don't have one.
No, there's a photo of Jokic that popped up.
That's not a nugget.
Yeah, he is. He plays for the Denver Nuggets.
All right. Don't make us restart the pod.
What?
Cardinals signed Lance Lynn for a 1 year, $11 million deal. So Lance Lynn will be heading back to St. Louis. And that's pretty much it. Broncos. I went to bed thinking Minnesota won last night, and then I woke up this morning and saw the Broncos won like a minute to go. I was like, what the fuck? So you shouted them out last week, 3 in a row. So now they've won 4 in a row. So props to the Broncos. They finally got something happening there. And that's a good win because Minnesota's been a good team since they got Josh Dobbs, and he's given them a new dimension that Cousins didn't. So good win for the Broncos. The Vikings defense let them down a little bit, but that's just how it goes. There's 3 facets to the game, and you got to do well in all 3. So, all right. Well, once again, happy Thanksgiving this Thursday, and hope you get to spend it with your friends and family and those you love, and get plenty of sweet potatoes. That's what I'm going to have. I'm making them, and get what you like. Plenty of turkey, white meat, dark meat. Maybe you can get the wishbone.